Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. And I'm in here all by myself. Anyway, I'm glad you're feeling better today, Henny. I'm okay. I'm not any worse. I'll take it. Hi, Kristen Melinda. You know, sometimes you take what you can get. Hi, Huckleberry. Good to see y'all. Lordy. So, y'all are gonna, anyway, I'd love to have a meeting if somebody would like to come in. Anybody? Any takers? The link is up in the chat. I am working while chatting a bit. Okay. Yeah, I won't tell anybody. I popped in just to say hi and see if you need a shoulder. Well, I appreciate that, Huck. Like I said, I'm not worse. I'm not feeling worse about it. I may not necessarily feeling better about it all, but
Hear me?
hey, yeah, I can, Henny. Great, thank you.
Hi, I came to join you, darling.
Ooh, I appreciate it.
Anytime.
And there's Plant Freak. Yay.
Hey, plant.
Hello.
You're
Hello,
welcome.
sweetheart.
I'm going to get Rowan. He's going to be a little bit late, but that's okay. I decided I was going to go for a little walk instead, so I'm just walking over to where I meet him. That's all.
Right
Oh,
on.
that's nice.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
We're doing,
You
I'm
first,
doing
Henny.
okay. I'm a little better. Go ahead, Carol.
No,
A
you
little better
first.
today.
That's good.
Okay.
You're feeling a little bit less
Yes.
fatigued?
Yes. I think it went into my lungs more because I have emphysema, so I have a harder time with that.
Oh my
But
God, Henny.
yeah, yeah. But
Oh my
that's
goodness.
nothing new. That's something I've always had. It's just that I think this, this took it. It took I took a whopping. So this is like the last of it, though. I'm hoping that it'll be easier. I have my pumps. I'm good.
Okay.
And how about you,
And what?
Carol?
Uh, like I was saying, I'm not worse. I can't necessarily say that I'm feeling better about anything or worse about it, but I'm not feeling worse about anything, so I'll take it.
That's
There
good.
you
That's
go.
all right.
Unless Lord Kiss Freak says
Got
doing
the
good here, I
job.
basically got the job. Just a matter of
Oh,
when they send me to
congratulations!
and send me out and when I start. Could be as soon as a week from Tuesday. That's fantastic, Chris.
So, Chris, is that going to be in?
Congratulations.
I know that the mines are all over the place. Is it still going to be around your neck of the woods in Ontario, or are you going to have to travel? We'll wait for his answer, but
Hi,
And
Huckleberry.
Huckleberry's,
Thank you.
yes. Wow.
yes.
So I guess the COVID really messes with you then. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And it's been a long time. I mean, COVID's
It
been around a while
has.
now, no? Yeah,
It has.
it really
Goodness.
has.
Oh, ooh, dang, that
But
sucks.
Wow.
it does. It does. But
And
little
every
by
time that you
little
get it, is it worse?
um for my lungs, yes, because I have that. You know what I mean? I was a smoker my whole life. I can't say that, it's anybody's fault but my own. But yeah, it doesn't it seems to hit that part of me the worst.
Of course. Of course.
I guess because
Oh
that's the
my
most,
goodness.
yeah, that's the most I can't think of the word, but
It's where it
it's not
affects the
coming to
most,
me.
most likely. Because I know as
Yes,
soon as
yeah,
the couple of times that I've had COVID, how I knew is because all of a sudden my chest had these pains I had never felt before.
yes,
Wow.
yes.
So, my
And I knew
word.
this time because my taste had gone. I didn't
Okay.
taste
Okay.
anything. I was eating and not tasting it. I said, "What am I eating it for if I can't taste it?"
I
So
remember
I
that
figured
talk.
yeah. So I figured I better check, and a good thing I did because we have home, the home test.
Yes.
So that's where how I found out. I took it
Yeah.
at home. It came out positive. And I called my doctor. I had to isolate, which I did. And
Yeah.
I went to the doctor and I got some pumps, which I needed.
Okay.
I got a rescue inhaler. So I'm okay now. It's,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
it's,
well, I'm happy that
yeah.
they were able to get you all of that help at
Thank
least.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that. I really do. And I'm so glad you're picking up Rowan. Is he spending the weekend with you, darling?
Yes, he is. So we're gonna have Wee
Oh,
Man from. It was supposed to be 5 o'clock. It's 4:45 right now where I am. But
okay.
it was a little bit late picking him up, which is fine. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go outside and I'll stream from outside because I've been indoors all day. I didn't make it for the walk earlier, so I figure I can get the extra in now.
And
Yeah.
Huckleberry needs to know
That's good.
something very important, Henny. Do you have
Okay.
rescue chocolate?
Always.
Aha!
Always. I have kisses and jelly rings, all in
Oh my goodness, yes.
dark chocolate only. You can't get better than those.
No. Dark chocolate took some getting used to for me, to be honest. Then again, I was brought up on like fruit roll-ups, so I needed the extra
Oh,
sugar for a long time.
okay. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but
Well, I'm so
yeah,
glad
I've
to be
my
together.
got my shawl all finished up. I'll post it on the needing a meeting page later. But that was about 4 days of work, and it was a ton of fun though, a ton of fun.
That's great.
And then I
I
started
love a
a messy
shawl.
bun hat. Oh, I call them day blankets because it's not socially acceptable to walk around with a blanket all the time, and I like blankets. So shawls are my day blanket.
There you go.
Shawls are
I love it.
cool.
They are cool.
Shawls are cool. Yeah, they
They
are,
should
right,
never,
This one,
Carol?
ever, ever gone out of. Yeah, they should never have ever gone out of style ever.
no, no. And this one it's asymmetrical, so it converts from a shawl to a scarf depending on what I need. And it ended up a
Yeah,
little bit
a
bigger
head
than I
wrap,
expected.
hence the blanket part.
Exactly. Exactly.
Very good.
So, how are
Very
you
good.
feeling about everything right now, Plant Freak?
You know what? I had a chat with the DPJ worker at 1 o'clock today,
And
and she's
what is that? What is DPG?
oh so sorry. Child Protective Services in Quebec.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So we had a good conversation. She said that one of those things that I was trying to get going this week would have been enough for her as a person, and I'm like, okay, well that's good to hear, but you know, I have a hard time trusting what I hear. So I take it
Mhm.
with a grain of salt, but I've got a lot of work done this week, and I really didn't realize it. Like the way that everything went south on Tuesday, I just didn't realize how much I actually got done. So
Okay.
having the conversation with her was like, oh crap, that was like an hour-long conversation just to explain the week.
Wow.
So that did feel good. By the time that I was done that felt really good. So
Right on. That's
yeah.
Good.
good.
So now it's just the waiting game. That's it. And then I found out that the drug testing I've been pushing for is not actually mandated yet.
Okay.
So technically, I don't have to, but I'm still going to talk to the doctor about maybe getting 3 months worth of testing lined up. So then that way I've got 3 months when I go into court, just be like, okay, here's 2 months worth. I still have 1 more month that I can go and do, but here's 2 months worth already. It's something that I'm going above and beyond for the court. And I can only imagine that it would
Good.
look good. I can only hope it would look good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Have you met with your new attorney yet?
I heard from her today.
Okay.
She's going over the documents, but I've got to wait for her to go through everything. She's got about 7 dates worth of documents to go through. So I don't know how long that's going to take for her to go through it. And then I'll talk to her.
Documents or stuff that you've submitted to her?
The stuff that I've submitted to her it's all going to be transferred to her. but I have information that I just want to make sure gets transferred properly. Because I don't know, I'm assuming that they document everything, they're lawyers. But I've done that before, I've assumed before, and
Okay.
assumptions get me nowhere but in trouble. So,
Yeah.
so I'm going to make sure, like, I have a couple of people who already told me that if need be, like, they'd help out in some way. So I'm just making sure that she understands that then at this point. I found out already the drug testing isn't mandated, so I don't need to worry too much about waiting for her answer, but this piece of me still just wants to make sure it's done. I just,
Yeah.
again, it's the above and beyond piece of me that just is like, no, I'm sober, and I've been sober for over 4 months now on a
Right.
couple of things.
Yeah.
So I just want to prove this. And then
Yeah.
she asked for information from my, oh my goodness, case manager from the recovery management. So I'm like, oh yeah,
Yes.
talk to them, because they told me there's 3 programs and I did 2 of them on my own. So I only have to do the last one. So yeah, go ahead, please talk to them. To be able to say something like that with confidence feels good.
Right on. Well, have you gotten a feel for how it's going to be working with the new attorney?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I just got in yesterday. I sent an email to the old one saying, I'm really sorry to bother you about this case again, because I know you're passing it off, but I need this information. And then she emailed me back last night saying, I'm going to pass it on to the other person. Then the other person emailed me this morning going, I'll go through it. I'll get back to you when I can. So we'll see from there, but I don't know. So far, the 2 have been really good. The one that has gone on maternity leave, and then the one that just passed off the file, they've both been really good. So I can only imagine that this one would be good.
Okay.
My only fear is it's the 3rd lawyer,
I know it.
right?
That has never been to anything with you.
No, nothing with me. It's always been the legal aid offices. It's not ever been me. Like the one lawyer went on mat leave. I expected that.
Yeah.
The other one was just helping out, but she also does my superior court. So, and then taking
Will this new one do that as well?
this new one will just do child services. And then I will keep the one for superior court.
Oh,
That
okay.
is
You can do
already
that?
superior court.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then if there's a criminal, well, I say if, but I have a feeling that everything on the other side's going to go forward. So I'm going to need a 3rd lawyer as well.
Uh-oh.
And that's just to make sure that everything goes good with the other part of it.
Oh my word. They move quick when you're a pain in their butts, LOL. Lord Kiss
Oh,
Freak
yeah.
says.
Oh yeah, and I'm that pain in the butt. I even said that to the worker today. I am the one who's picking everybody off, and just, I don't care how many times I call. You're going to give me an answer, because I need the answer to be able to move forward.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Your tenacity will pay off in the long run, Plant. Believe it.
I
Yeah.
hope so, honey. I know it will.
Believe it.
I say I hope so now, just because I'm in the midst of it,
Yes.
Right.
It's always
Yeah.
hard while you're in the midst of it, but you're doing very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. And Izzy E, one of our people, she's going to be helping me out with a doctor's appointment so that I can know that everything gets translated properly.
Okay.
So I booked
good.
some time with her for March, beginning of March, so that with the doctor I don't have to use Google Translate, because that's the worst. So this way she can translate it best for me, human to human.
Oh, good.
And then I make sure that nothing gets lost between the cracks there also. So everything is.
That's good.
What did I do? I don't know what I did. I don't know how I did that.
So it went black all of a sudden.
I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah, I was just saying all the balls are rolling. That's what I needed to get going. And I wanted it going last week, but, some more calls and being the pain in people's butts.
Yeah.
I got it going this week, that's for sure. So next week is the waiting game, and that's okay. The waiting game is better than trying to call absolutely everybody, because that stress level was a bit high.
Mm-hmm.
that was a bit high.
Yeah. So do you know how to go about getting that third lawyer you need?
Once I'm needed for that case, I really can't say too much about that one. But once I'm needed for that case, then I'll get assigned one because I have legal aid services. So basically it's lawyers based off of your income. However much income you're getting, you pay them that much. And right now with pretty much no income, I'm lucky enough that they're helping out for nothing. So once I'm needed in court, then I'll need a lawyer. They'll assign me one then.
Okay.
They'll get notified before I do. Any of the information on that case, I need to go and seek, which really sucks.
Yeah.
Until I get called or subpoenaed, I have to figure it all out. So, like, I didn't know when the next date got moved to, but I figured out when that date got moved to because I'm the person who calls everybody and is the pain in the butt. I'm pretty sure that they were tired of hearing from me. Just give her the day.
I don't know if I there she
There
is.
she is.
Okay. I don't think I did that. I wasn't touching anything. Hey, you're back, Kenny. Thank you.
I'm back. Okay.
So, were you needing to come on and share something, or were you just want to say in the chat? So, Misha says, so proud of you, Stasia. You are kicking it old school and making an excellent example of how to do things, all of which you are doing with insane stress and 4 whole months of doing this sober.
I can't believe I'm doing it sober. Thank you. Thank you. It's I really appreciate that. That's it's a good reminder when I get to hear it from yes, Mama's Tiara. I just put it in. I'll be doing the dates again when it's 5 months because I love Mama's Tiara that much.
Indeed.
Yeah. So you know what? It's a good example to me, and I'm happy that I'm kind of documenting this with you guys because it's a good example for other people. No matter how stressed out you are, you can still stay sober.
Right on.
It's a stress level I never thought I'd deal with, and it's a stress level I definitely would have thought if I would have dealt with sober. So that's
well,
I think it's a good testament to other people.
Strength.
Yes.
Thank
and
you.
Yours. And your strength.
Yes. Resilience and determination is what I keep hearing from other people. And it's like, okay, now I can actually see it. You know, the balls are rolling. I don't feel so stressed out. Yeah. I can actually see it.
Right.
So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. So do you know anything on the housing front yet?
So there's some calls. Okay, the person that I'm working with at the Avante Women's Center in the area where I'm going, she put out a few more calls this week, and it said it would be 48 to 72 hours for them to get back to her, which I expect. But as well, my public housing, what's the word? Application. It went in front of the council this week. I'll be speaking with somebody next week on the 29th. So that way, all the documentation, it's in. She can tell me where I am basically on the list at that point next week. And then all of my documentation for financial aid that they asked for is in as well.
Okay.
So it's, again, waiting games, but the waiting games will pay off eventually.
Right on.
Yeah.
Misha says, I'm an old hack at this, and yet you are giving me strength to keep going and with a smile. I might add me not smiling as much, but.
Yeah. You've got this. I've got this. We've all got this, honestly. Like, the connection makes it happen for me. That's for sure. Being able to express and feel with other people, because when I feel by myself, it's not good.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, when I feel by myself, it's too overwhelming, and I think everybody does it. You can cycle in your own head hard enough, and then the whole world seems like it's falling apart.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
We got this, says Misha.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. I'm so excited you have Rowan.
So am I. So am I. I already made plans with him to go to McDonald's tomorrow evening for dinner. So I'm like, if the playland's open, we'll go play in the playland. Because the last 2 times we've been, some kid had an accident in the slide and they closed down the playland.
Oh.
I made sure I threw in there if it's open so he doesn't get disappointed.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm craving a burger. I may as well have a burger with my son.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
My dad never said, never go into your own mind alone. That is great advice.
I wish somebody told me that sooner in life, honestly, or I figured it out sooner in life. But I'm making sure that my daughter understands this now because I'm telling her all the time, don't think it all alone. It's not good for you.
Right.
Talk to me, talk to your dad, talk to the counselor, whatever you need to do. Talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm starting to see the hormones in that one, I tell you.
Come again?
I said I'm starting to see the hormones in my daughter, that's for sure.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. 13, she'll be 14 in the summer.
Woo. Woo. It's on. It is on.
And celebrating her 2-month anniversary with her boyfriend. Dear word. Dear word.
Well, hopefully you'll all get through it all unscathed.
Yeah. If we even get scathed, we've got each other to make sure that we at least heal up well.
That's true.
Right?
Right.
Because I don't think, this is my theory now. I don't think life is ever going to leave us unscathed. Sadly.
I know it.
But if you have the right people, you have the right crew around you, you have the right family or tribe, yeah, you're going to make it through.
Yeah.
If you don't, well, time to start looking for them.
Yeah.
It's time to start looking for them because they will find you, especially when you need it most. And I'm good
ready.
testament to that.
When you're ready. Yeah. It does seem to work that way, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wasn't ready to fully talk about things while I was there. And then I left and got moved to a different shelter. And it's like, that's when I found you guys. 13 is when I started having issues. Oh, this is Kristen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool that she has a mom who is aware. Aw, thank you, Kristen.
Yeah.
I promised myself when she was born I wasn't going to let her go through some of the stuff that I went through. So it's I think we all break cycles slowly. It's just through our kids. Sometimes.
So they said that when we all went off screen, somebody heard a growl.
What? That's weird.
Very weird. My little background film is gone.
Yeah, it's just black now. My goodness.
Like that. But anyway, it is what it is. Well, I've been thinking about like this whole thing with the possible sibling has, really sent me back to thinking about different times, missing my child and, about 2 or 3 years into sobriety, thinking, looking around at all the kids in the church that I was going to and thinking it might have been okay. At that time, actually, it was more like it would have been okay because I didn't know that I would be able to get sober,
Yeah, that's
and
wow.
And so that haunted me for a number of years. And then I wrote to the parents asking if I could have communication with my son.
Okay.
They said, "Oh, we'll see about that when he's ready." And I thought, "No, you'll see about it when you're ready," which is not going to happen. I already knew. It wasn't anything about him at all.
No. Well, they probably, I don't know. Did they keep the information and at least pass it on to him when he was ready?
Nope. I had to tell him everything. I had stocked them up with all sorts of information and yeah, I had to share it all with them. He didn't get any of it.
Oh, wow.
I don't understand how you can just think that you can just take somebody in and just have them completely ignore their origins when
Hmm.
they're sitting there putting their head on their pillow at night wondering about them, you
Yeah,
know, wondering what in the world could have made them not want them. That's the thing that haunted me, is the
that
thing
mo.
of him having to go through life wondering why I didn't want him, because it couldn't have been farther from the truth. I wanted him desperately. I just didn't think I deserved him. And
That's hard.
you know,
That's hard.
you know,
Oh my goodness. Is that something that you guys have already? I'm assuming you've already discussed. Is that a feeling that he had? Yeah.
um, I don't know that he's necessarily put it in those exact words, but so, those feelings were things that he had to grapple with. I mean, who
Yeah.
wouldn't? Who wouldn't grapple with it?
Yeah. Even in my disconnection time from my daughter because of my last situation, she felt that. So that's been interesting to work through. That's really been interesting to work through.
Yeah.
'Cause I want her to understand that I'm here no matter what, and I'm not going to make the same mistake that I did before, not willingly anyways.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine a lifetime's worth.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so he knows just about everything around it. I don't think I've left much out at this point. He lived with me for 4 years, so we had a lot of time to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He,
Okay.
yeah, he had been there a month, to the day, when my brother came into the house and did what he did.
So he saw too.
No, he's a metalhead, and he had
Okay, had his
his
headphones on.
he had his noise canceling headphones on, and,
Mm,
he didn't hear a thing. He just saw my swollen face, you know
that.
you know?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Chills. Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. At the same time, I feel like a situation like that could only bring you guys closer too, though.
I think so. I think so. I feel like he knows he can. I've been, nothing but honest and open with him, so I think he knows by now that he can talk to me about anything he
Y-
wants to, you know?
yes. Yes. Which
Yeah.
movie are we talking about here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because now I'm
Oh, so
curious. You said
they
movie.
said it sounded like a something that happened in this movie called Devil.
Okay. I've seen it a few times, yes.
They said that that's what the noise sounded like when we went off screen. That
Interesting.
was trippy.
I'm happy I'm sober.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Oh God. Oh,
So let's see if we can sort through what's going on with Misha here. Still looking for a chance to make it. I'm so behind and chaotic right now. Honestly, scaring the crud out of me at the moment. 'Tis getting kind of bad up in here. See, and there I was thinking the fam just didn't want anything to do with me. Why wasn't I good enough? I never even got the chance to earn it. And that's the sad thing, is that you don't have to earn it.
no,
You
no,
know? We're
no.
wired to, or we're supposed to be wired, sometimes the genetics just aren't there, but we're supposed to be wired to just automatically have enough care, because our job as parents is to keep the kid alive, and you got to care about the kid for that to happen, you
Yep,
know?
yep. No, I get that. And it's confusing to me, especially, Misha's situation. Like, I wish that she didn't have to go through that.
I do
I
too.
really do.
She says, every
But
new person in my life, I've wondered in the back of my head, are you being nice to me because you know of me already and are related, or do I measure up enough for you to stay? Oh, I hate that you've had
that,
to go through life that way, Misha.
yeah, that's difficult. And I can see how that would have residual effects now. I can
Yeah.
definitely see that. My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, Misha, one thing that you had said is you're feeling behind. And I can tell you right now that's something that I was feeling a couple of weeks ago. Like, holy crap, what else can I possibly need to do right now? I don't know if it would
Yeah.
help you, but it definitely helped me to be able to write everything out. Just say I need to call here, 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 here. And the list was massive at first. But to be able to check that box off, it gave me a tiny little bit of space to breathe and then a little bit
Yeah.
more space to breathe. So I don't know if it's something that would help, but maybe try.
Yeah. Every breath I take, I am reminded that I have to be worthy to accept it. It's a little different now, but for so long, I was supposed to be grateful they chose me. Well, I tell you what got me off the path of feeling like I needed to apologize for the oxygen I was taking up. I started with just disgust, like, you know what? Screw this. I'm here,
Mm-hmm,
and I'm breathing oxygen. Deal with it.
mm-hmm. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I've definitely felt as if I was a waste of oxygen. Felt like I was
Mhm.
absolutely nothing. I can't even
Nobody
think
should feel
about the
that way.
thing that triggered me to, other than continually watching the lifeboat and watching Reese. Relatable Reese,
Yeah.
because her
Yeah.
personality is so much what I used to be. And I'm kind of getting
Right.
back to it. I'll share whatever anybody wants me to share, and because half
Yeah.
of it, 90% of it's already all over the internet. So I'll share whatever people want to talk about and share. It's just, I don't want to make people uncomfortable. And she just doesn't care about making people uncomfortable. That's what I used to be. And I want to be that again.
Misha, you are enough for always. I felt like that should be said out loud
Yeah. Yes,
because
you
it's the
are.
truth.
Yes.
It's the truth, and you need to hear it. You know? Trigger alert, says Huckleberry.
Okay.
Um, block your ears. Anyone who says you should be grateful they chose you can just fuck all the way off twice.
Yep.
I might have issues.
No, I would not say you have issues. I say I agree, or we all have issues. Maybe that's the thing.
And one with Cat Shell says she has thought the same thing. Got to make a list of your lists,
Yes,
Misha.
yes,
No, just one foot in front of the other. Do the best you can.
exactly.
Nope, nobody can ask more of anybody else than that.
No, and you're right. You're right. Nobody can ask more, but I have a feeling Misha's a lot like me, and she puts more pressure on herself than other people are putting on her. So
Yeah.
I understand that fully, and that's where my lists come in. And like
Yeah.
Lord Chris, sorry, I'm just gonna say Chris because I'm saying it together. I almost said Lord Chris Freak. But I literally have. I'll take pictures if you guys want. But there's a notebook full of lists, and like there's a main list for the week, and then there's a list per day. So there's lists of lists. Lord Chris, yes.
My other's keeper, hello. Good to see you. I want to read this one. I used to feel bad because my dad chose my sister, not me. I wanted his love and felt upset that she got more.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's a whole new level of acceptance of yourself, especially when it goes so young, so deep. But you know what?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that you've figured out some of your worth at least.
Yeah.
And slowly it'll keep coming and coming. Because if it's coming for me, I feel like it's gonna come for anybody. Because I'm the
Right.
we all self-hate so much, right?
Oh, yeah.
We all self-hate so much, and definitely what we would tell our friend is a hell of a lot better than what we tell ourselves.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. My father punished me every day for not being thankful enough for being adopted when my own father didn't want me. Asshole. Agreed.
Those situations
That
shouldn't happen.
no, they should not.
Dear word.
And I don't ugh. You wonder why you wonder why somebody would want kids if that's the way that they are going to think about them and feel about them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like the vetting process, not just now, but back when that happened, should have been a hell of a lot better. Have a conversation with both parents. Make sure they both want this child. Not here, we need to place this child, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I feel like half the problem is.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Freedom.
And feed 'em. Well, I can't say what I used to say to that anymore. Used Carol at Needing Me used to say goat heads. Now I have a new understanding. Henny says, self-loathing is such a common feeling amongst us, and that's why we need to remind ourselves that we are worthy.
And why we remind each other, because for me, hearing it externally helps me start being able to say it internally.
Yeah,
So every single one of you are worthy.
right on.
Every single one of you. I keep looking around, guys. Sorry, it's just making sure I'm not missing the vehicle.
You know, the fact that you come here and you care about people,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know a more worthy thing that another person can invest in than what you guys invest in here every single day. It is beautiful
Yes.
and astonishing in the best possible way. It blows me away every single day.
It was your
It does.
idea. Remember that. Just need to say that to you, though, Carol. Oh, I think I see Wee Man. So I am going to turn myself off. And if you guys are still on when I get back, I'll pop on because you'll probably want to say hi.
Okay.
Okay. I love y'all. Have a good
Love
night.
you too. You too. I had a guardian ad litem and a social worker, and they interviewed me for the adoption with him in the same room. What? I was terrified I would be beaten if I said no. Uh-uh. No, 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 no. I'm learning to love me, but at least I don't self-loathe myself any longer. I'm glad, Henny, because you are a beautiful human being. And I am with Misha on this. So angry that makes me. Yeah. System failed you so badly. One with Cat's shell says. I just feel the same way as you, says my other's keeper. Yeah. Oh, man. A lot of us have come through some stuff, haven't we? Why does it take that for us to find that we're compassionate, you know? Glad we are together. Yeah. It did, and I'm glad child abuse is more recognized now. Yeah. It still goes on far too frequently. But I hope that the adoption process is getting a lot more scrutiny because it needs to. It just needs to. So I'm going to put the link up if anybody wants to come join. Christy is going to a library with a bunch of old books, like books as old as the 16th and 17th century. So from my experience, says Misha, I know this sounds awful, but there seems to be a high rate of narcissism among adopting families. Not the adoptees or the biological, but just a dang dress-up doll. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah. We are compassionate because we endured so much, says Full of Hope. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, I don't understand why we as a species have to learn compassion that way. Because more people could learn it, if more of us didn't have to learn it that way. You would hope. Thank you for popping on, Henny.
No problem. I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure it wasn't my phone that was causing all the commotion.
Oh, no, I don't think so. It must have been something within Restream.
Okay.
Because everything went at once. We went, my background went,
Okay.
and I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't even trying to click on a comment or anything.
Right.
So yeah, I think it was
Okay.
something on Restream's end. If I'm just gonna blame it on Restream. Why not?
Okay. It's Restream School. That's all. And I wanted you to know, Carol, that you're so special. And I
Thank you.
know that this time is very uncertain for you. To find out something like this is shocking, number one.
Yeah.
It's uncertain, number two, you
Yeah.
know? And there's a lot of things that go along with that. Uncertainty is
Right.
terrible. It really is.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know that, whatever you find out, the decision is yours to make. Whether it's to reach out, whether it's to stand back and wait, you're
Right.
not obligated. You're obligated to yourself and your well-being. And
Yeah.
you've done such a marvelous job with that. And you've come
Thank
so
you.
far. It still will always hurt, but you've really got it together. So in the midst
Thank
of this
you.
you're welcome. I really wanted to help you because
Thank
we
you.
all need help, and when we're struggling, and like I said, uncertainty is really a hell of a thing to grapple with. It's
Yes.
really uncomfortable, and it's hurtful. But as I say, as things progress, which they will, nothing stands still, you'll be able to, navigate what's right for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
I hope
deserve
so.
that.
I hope so. My parents didn't qualify because his mom was diabetic. What? But the salesman who came to the golf course and was friends with my dad lived next to a doctor who knew about me. The rest is history. Well, my other's keeper, hello. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
Hello.
Is that my hi?
Yes. Hi, Henny. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Nice to meet you too, dear. Nice to meet you too.
Okay, now I have to turn off that. Okay. Can
You
you still
missed
hear me?
I can hear you. I
Yeah.
definitely can hear you.
Hello.
Hello. Who is this? And
I'm trying
welcome.
a little. Hi, Henny. Hi, Mother's Keeper. Hi, Carol.
I'm echoing really badly here.
Do you have your
Hello.
YouTube playing in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Shut that off or mute it. And that
Hi,
should take
Awakens.
care of
I
it.
can see you now. I have my bifocals
Hi,
and
baby.
my
I can
magnifying glass. Now I can see. Well, I can hear you and see
Wonderful.
who's in the box.
Do you like my
Okay.
makeup?
Oh,
I
yes.
do.
Do you like my
I
makeup?
do. I do.
Do you like my lack of makeup?
Yeah.
I think you're beautiful.
Oh, I have lack of makeup too. I love
Honestly,
your hair.
oh yeah, the hair.
I love the hat. Yeah.
I love taking
the
just a
embellishment
plain hat and
too. Look at
adding
that.
some
Yeah.
roaches.
Love
It makes
that.
it something special.
Pretty.
Yes, it does. I love
Oh,
that.
Have
it's
y'all
very
noticed that
good.
Tommy has started wearing hats? And I think it's because he wants to be part of the Needing a Meeting crew is what my theory is on that.
We'll tell ourselves that.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm definitely a hat girl, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I don't
I have
normally
He
wear
looks
so
them.
many
way
hats,
better
and
than
even though I'm
Indiana
not on
Jones.
you know, he does wear a hat well, and so I think it's
Yeah,
I
he does.
give it to It's because he liked the hat that I was wearing because I don't go on screen, but I still wore the hat.
Right
There
on.
you go.
Y'all,
Well, I'd love to get
I
to
got
know.
a link.
I haven't had it. Go ahead. Sorry, what?
No, go ahead, because I'm going
Go
to pull
ahead.
this up before I say it anyways.
Oh,
So
okay.
it'll take me a second.
So, tell us a little bit about you, my other's keeper. I'm excited to meet you.
Well, let's see. I was born at a very young age.
Very good.
That's good.
I actually told that to one of
I
my
like it.
therapists, and she says, "So, how old were you when you were born?" I'm like, 0. Anyway, but no, I grew up in a really dysfunctional family. My dad was a police officer for a long time. And when I say a long time, I mean off and on, because he kept losing jobs because he was a drunk.
Oh.
But he also was grooming my sister throughout,
No.
like her whole life.
Oh,
And when she was
no.
about 12, he started actually assaulting her.
Oh.
But the good thing is that I was so ignored that, like, he wasn't grooming me at all. And I was so ignored that I actually wound up with emotional neglect being my abuse, even from my mom, simply because she knew something weird was going on, but she did not know exactly what. So, yeah. And then once my dad was finally arrested, when my sister was 18 and that kind of stuff,
Oh, man.
that my mom and I left, and she and I became closer than you would ever imagine. Just, we were all each other had. And you know how Tommy talks about trauma bonding? Well, we
Yeah.
trauma bonded
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I learned a lot more about my dad and their marriage than most kids probably should ever know. But at the same time, I needed to know that, because as I was growing up, I always learned you don't run from a fight, you fight. And, we
Yeah.
fought a lot at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so that really kind of upset me. So
Yeah.
then, I also grew up, not only was he a police officer, but when
Pardon me.
when I was about 8, we moved to Northern Alberta, and he went to Bible school and became a pastor. Yeah. And so from 12 on, like from 8 to 12, he was at school. And I was just this happy Christian, loving it girl all the time. And then we just kept moving and moving and moving. And I kept getting more and more and more shy because I had no friends.
Yeah.
And things at home were getting more and more stressed and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So when my dad finally got arrested and my mom and I moved, I decided that being a good girl got me nowhere. So let's see what being a bad girl can do. And it got me nowhere faster.
Yeah.
So I spent a few years just kind of, I never got involved in illicit drugs or alcohol at that age.
Okay.
I knew where it had taken my dad, and I didn't want to go there.
Right.
And so I was able to learn from that, fortunately.
Yeah.
But I had other addictive behaviors, like food was a big one, and sex. Those were my 2 big ones.
Okay.
My husband became my boyfriend when I was 18, and he was very grateful for the second addiction. Because he was my sole outlet, which was wonderful.
Right on.
But we've been together now for 33 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. I have bipolar type 2, ADHD, PTSD, and undifferentiated anxiety disorder. So I am proof that even with a lot of complex types of mental illnesses, a long-term, healthy, happy relationship is possible and is doable. Like Tommy says, there is a shoe for every foot kind of thing,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's somebody for everybody. But some people also know that they are meant to be single. And that's fine too.
It is.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better to be single than with the wrong guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was definitely more lonely and more miserable in a lonely marriage. where there was just nothing to connect to.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
actually really fortunate because my husband's working from home. He works from home a few days a week, so he's just right across the wall, right there for me.
Right
Kinda
on.
nice.
That is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Right
Not a
on.
lot, but a little. Yeah.
That's yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with
Thanks
us.
for sharing.
Yeah,
Yes.
You're welcome.
yeah. Misha, you were putting something up on the screen. Was that something that was that what you were talking about? Can you hear us, Misha?
I think Misha's working on
Okay.
her stream there. My other's keeper, that was really wonderful
Yeah.
for you to share. But
Yeah.
also what's wonderful is to know that you can have so many things that really upset your mental health and your well-being,
Yeah.
and yet we're still able to,
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a fight every day, but we're still able to do it
Yeah, absolutely.
and to come out, yeah,
Yeah.
and to find
That's
some happiness and
Mhm.
to be able to express it. I think that's so important
Yeah.
also, being able to let
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually something that I learned from my mom.
Okay.
It's not a matter of why me did this happen.
Mhm.
Woe
Okay.
is me, why me, all of that.
Mhm.
It is a matter of why not me, because I'm strong, and people who don't get it probably aren't strong enough to handle something like that. I feel bad for people who've never been through something tough. Because if they've been through nothing, imagine what would happen if they had even a quarter of what we've been through, right?
Right.
Can you imagine?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
we're so much tougher. And then not only that, the next step is, yeah, it sucks. It's going to need time to heal. And as it heals, then who do I reach out to? Who can I now talk to more empathetically? Who can I teach some
Yeah.
lessons that I've learned so they don't have to go through them? And those are
Right.
types of things that I learned from my mom, who went through this terrible message or marriage with my dad. Her upbringing was just as bad, if not worse.
Oh, wow.
She didn't have the sexual abuse that my sister did growing up, but her family was, oh, it was awful, awful. And
Wow.
I didn't learn a lot of that until just even 10 years ago. So just was, there's so much, so many layers. Our family's a real onion and it stinks. But
Yeah. So does
anyway.
mine.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Misha, are you with us? Are you ready? She was wanting to bring this up and share about it. Oh, wait. Let's see. Let me try something here. Okay, let's see if we can hear you now.
Oh.
Sorry
Can you hear me
about
now?
that. I was afraid it was going to create an echo if I had both two Mishas up there, but it's okay. I don't.
There's
Are
two
you
missions
guys?
in my head all the time, and there's a major echo. But
Sorry about that.
no, I'm glad that it wasn't mine, because my stuff stays messed up, so that's good to know. Okay, I really can't see now because I'm just looking at the little bitty screen.
Okay.
But I got this morning, and this is IMDb, and so the producer's really happy because it's on Amazon's page.
Okay.
But this is the page for Our Voices Cry.
Which is?
It is the movie that they're making for Christina, that Christina was a part of before everything happened.
Oh my
And
word.
so she's still telling her story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
called what?
it's one of those things. Our Voices Cry.
Our Voices.
So that's
Cry.
why you'll see me a lot of times. I'm like, we're joined voices, because we've got to be the voices to speak out for these people that can't. They're not being heard.
Yeah.
And it's it's one of those, I struggled for a long time with it because I didn't want to commercialize her story,
Right.
and so I struggled with that. But at the same time, if she had to go through everything that she went through, it's for a reason, and by God, it's going to be something she's going to get her justice, and she's going to help. so many people.
Right on.
And so it's a 2020, kind of thing. But it's still keeping her story out there. And so
Yeah.
that's how I've come to terms.
Okay.
It's kind of a hard thing because he kind of changed the story up a lot from what I've seen so far.
Okay.
And I'm just giving him complete faith. And he was her friend.
Okay.
And I knew him before. In fact, crazy thing is the day that, the morning after we found out, one of the first things I did is I went to her page and I went to his page and I went to everybody's pages that I knew that knew her. And I was horrible. I was that biker biatch full 100%. Don't you close your eyes without seeing me and her. Because one of these days you may see me. I was horrible. And it's still up there on Facebook. I haven't taken it down.
Okay.
Because that's real. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
but he messaged me and he was like, what is going on? And so we got to talking from there, and he told me that they had been working on something, and asked a little later, he asked if we wanted to go through with it. And so it's like she gave her blessing, kind of.
Oh, wow.
And she told me, like I say, we've talked about her story. And I used to always tell her every time we talked that her testimony was going to save lives.
Yeah.
And she's told me before that she would go through everything again if she could save people.
Wow.
And so
Oh,
it's even more
what a precious girl.
yeah.
Mm.
When they did the auditions for the girl, it was very anticlimactic almost, because I don't know, I kind of silly, but I was, thinking that I would see something in her. I don't know, I don't know what I thought, but she's a very beautiful young lady, and she's very honored to play the part of Christina.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's still not her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't know, who is Christina for you?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
She's my
I
daughter.
don't. Okay. Okay.
She was 26 years old, and she had been her father. Well, there's just a whole long line of all of us. I was a drug addict. For part of their lives. While they were still in the house, I had the last 14 years I was clean, and then we'll go at all that one these days. But needless to say, whenever the empty nest syndrome was coming, I fled from it, because I do that when things get rough. And she decided she wanted to meet her dad as a grown-up, because I kind of shielded them away from him for a lot of their lives. And so when she turned 18, she wanted to go spend some time with him. And he was her first for quite a few things. And one of them was for IV drugs. And then through that, did horrible things that no father should ever do. And I only found that out after the fact.
Wow. How did you find out, if you don't mind me asking?
Her sisters told me.
Oh. Wow. Oh.
And see, I should have caught some things on early on. There was they have told me it's okay. And so I've never told this part of it, but when I had to go to work, a single mom, no family. And so they stayed and I thought that's what you did. If you had grandparents and they would help, you took them there and they would watch them and you would go to work. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. I didn't have any family. And apparently the youngest brother, and we only knew of the other two girls. We didn't know of Christina. And I always kind of felt bad because in that, I thought her problem was just that, you know, the why me kind of thing, even though it's a twisted way of thinking. But she was a middle child, and she just, I don't know. There's so much there,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah.
There's so much there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But she would, she had a problem for her entire life. Since she was like 4 or 5, she would use the restroom in her sleep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we did a lot of taking her to the doctor and all these different things. I'm very naive to that because I had, as far as I thought, anyways, I always had the perfect fairy tale life for the most part until Mama died. And so I didn't have that part to have any kind of a, you know, reference to. And I was very naive in thinking that everybody was like we were. You know, there's not any of that kind of, that's monsters on TVs
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I never thought for that except for what happened with me and their dad. But I thought that was just for me. I didn't think that was towards the kids.
Wow.
Mm,
Um, never expected, never suspected anything, didn't know what to look out for because,
right.
like I said, and
Yeah. How? Yeah.
there
Unfortunately,
was a,
when it starts with one generation, unless it gets stopped, it will continue
Yeah.
to any other generation because his predilection is for a certain age group. It has nothing to do with, you know, um, relationship. It has everything to do with availability.
Ooh.
yeah. Well, and I mean, there's so much that I've never spoken out loud. With me and him, he is just, and I eventually I need to do something about that too because the world needs to know.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to get away scot-free. He is just as guilty, in
Yeah.
my opinion, as the man that pulled the trigger on my daughter.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If not so much more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
In my
sorry.
brain, I'm just
I'm
giving
so
you the
sorry.
biggest hug right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We really are.
Some
We're
days I'm
supporting
okay.
you.
Yeah.
Some days I'm
But
okay, and then other
you're
times
right.
it's just like the days.
You're he has to have some
I just wanted,
accountability.
Yeah. He
And
yeah,
does.
and when you're strong, listen, you know, grief takes its toll and its own
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you give yourself that grace and that, you know,
Yeah.
that mercy on
Hmm.
yourself,
well,
Yes,
you
Hmm.
know.
Misha. Yes.
there's not really much room for that though right now.
I
Now,
understand. That's
I'm fighting
because you're
so many
grieving.
things.
Yes.
Misha,
It's not even the grief. It's not even the grief. It's the everyday today, you know, the system, all these different things that we have to do, that they put us through, that we have to check these boxes and we have to fill out these and we have to be on, you know, there's no room to grieve. There's no room to do things that I need to do because, you know, I mean, it's just really messed up, the system.
Yeah.
And if I'm going down, I'm going to go down fighting every single day because this is ridiculous what they put us through.
Yes, it is.
it totally is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
It's
a broken
insane.
system.
How do they not see the insanity of it? They're in it every single day. You know?
Well,
It's
yeah.
it's
When my dad
it's
got
scary.
arrested, sorry.
Oh, it's a scary, scary thing. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, you're looking at from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed.
Yeah.
You can't rest, you can't relax because you've got to try to figure out how you're going to take care of yourself for that day.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been on hold the last 2 months. I've been on hold 2 to 3 days every single week for the last 2 months. I've been on hold at least 4 to 5 hours with DHS, and I get through to the first person, no problem. The second person, every single time I get to talk to them, either if they're calling me back or if I'm on hold for hours. I've got recordings of it.
Wow.
Oh,
Whenever they go to pick up, it hangs up on me. I
mm.
can never get through to that next person, and that's what it takes. And we've not had the stamps. We've not had them for 2 months. We
Mm.
can't get approved for the SSA because they sent both he and I denial letters because we said that we didn't want their services anymore. There's not been any phone calls. You know,
Wow.
it's just it's so
Wow.
much. And so I wasn't even able to do it's so I can't be a mom whenever I'm raising my kids because I have to work 3-4 jobs. And then they have the issues that they should have because of life. And I can't do anything for them. You see the problem, you know the problem, but you can't do it because you just don't have enough resources. So then you go into these disassociation spells, not even realizing it. And so then even when you are there, you can't be a parent. And so then you've got these babies that are going through no parents.
Yeah. Mm.
How old are your children, Misha?
Now they're 26, 27, and 28.
How much of this do they know?
All of it. We're all very open.
Oh, good.
Very.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we were exploring it together because I didn't have any medical history from my anything. Like my family tree starts with me. And so anything and everything that we go through, we try to do it together. You know, like with Christina, we found out just a couple of years ago that everything that she was going through, like the signs that she was showing it from being early on, it all made sense that she probably was on the spectrum. But we didn't have a doctor that would listen to me because she was over 18 years old. And so whenever I would finally track down a facility that she was in, finally make sure that she's there after looking at all these Jane Does for a whole year. I was looking at Jane Does beforehand in so many states, so many cities trying to find her. And so, you know, there was that. There was the only safe whenever I was on the phone with her, and I'd be on the phone with her for 5 minutes at a time. And so trying to get a hold of somebody, and when I finally would, they wouldn't talk to me because she was over 18. She was a grown woman.
Yeah.
And if we would have been able to talk to the doctors and get her on the right medication, if we would have been able to get somebody to listen.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm so angry at this fact because I am only one person and I can't do even normal stuff like I need to. But I mean, rabbits out of my butt all the time, and now I'm out of rabbits.
I'm glad that we're here for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we can support you, even though it may feel like too little too late at times. Just know that we are supporting you.
Yes.
And
yes, Misha.
Y'all
Yeah.
don't even know the boat and the meeting. The people that I've met have really been what's just kept me going.
Good.
Then I'm sorry that I'm always just crying. It's blah, blah, blah.
Nothing to be sorry for. My God, how would you not?
Exactly. And actually,
how would you not?
Be more scared when you quit crying.
Yeah.
Because when you quit crying is when it no longer hurts and your emotions have turned off.
Yes.
And that's worse.
That is worse,
That is
Misha.
so much worse.
It is.
Well, I mean, I'm going with that too. There's dry spells and there's not. It's just confusing, and you think that you're growing, you think that you're healing, you think that and then something comes along and just knocks you right under your feet again. It's just, you know, when you're out on the street, they say journal. But when you're out on the street, you can't, because you can't even keep up with it. Somebody will steal it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, and everybody's on you because you need to quit doing this. You need to quit doing that. You can't even feed yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you've got $20. You have to choose between eating or doing something that's going to stop, which now it doesn't, I don't think, but back in the day, you had $20, you could buy something that would stop you from sleeping, which is good because somebody's not going to be there to take away something from you. You know, and so you want to stay alert, and it's also going to make you to where you don't have to eat as much. So what are you going to do if you've got that $20? You know, you have to think wisely, and that is something that people face all the time.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, you're complete, I mean, serious safety.
Yeah.
is on the line every single minute of every single day. And then you run into, which thank God we have a house. And so it's not as bad right now.
Mhm.
But when you're out there, every single day, you don't know if you're going to make it just because of these surviving necessities. And then you've got all these people that are telling you to do this, do that. And I know I'm a broken record on this, but I want to get people to realize that this being homeless is the hardest thing I had ever done.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being homeless, I've never been homeless, but I've had some very good friends who have been. There's actually a young man I know, and I try to keep in contact with him, but it's more than being homeless. It's being faceless. It's being voiceless. It's being all of these things, because now you're just part of them. You're not a human anymore.
Those people.
Yeah.
You said that and it like clicked for me for a second,
Mm-hmm.
because with my being adopted, I always say this, that I feel like I was always the scarlet letter for the family for a sin that I didn't commit. I
Right.
was like the scarlet letter.
Right.
You said that, and it just made me kind of think too. The homeless are the scarlet letters of society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That might be another reason why, yeah.
And we don't like to look at it, because if we look at it too close, we're going to have to look at ourselves.
And why can't you do anything about it? Because you can, but if you say, well, they're just drug addicts, then there's that. You can remain guiltless if you don't look at it too closely.
Well, you can pretend to remain guiltless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we are subject to a system that's supposed to be there for us, that we cannot insist that they do things differently and stop perpetuating economy that less and less people can participate in.
A carton of eggs is back up to $6 a carton.
Wow.
It's unacceptable.
They were giving extra in stamps there for a while with the whole pandemic. They gave like a extra bump on them. Well, then they took that away. Honestly, prices were much cheaper back then than they are now.
Yeah.
And there's all these different programs, and people are like, well, just go here because they've got help for you. Excuse me. And then you go and look, and there's nothing except for one program, and it only serves Oklahoma County. Right. If you live outside of that, nope, you're not covered.
Wow.
But there's so many places that says that they do stuff. Well, they do, but they don't cover you. They only cover these people.
Yeah.
Right.
And I saw a thing last night. They have now completely housed in hotels where they are getting clean sheets every day. They're getting their rooms clean. They are getting breakfast and lunch. They are not required to have jobs. And this is on the salaries that I worked up until just all this. I worked hard. I worked at least 2 jobs just about every single year of my life from the time I turned 16. I didn't have to, but I wanted to at that time. Wow, Misha. I went to college. I raised my girls. I wasn't, I didn't get child support. The entire time I raised them, I didn't get child support.
Yeah.
I did it on my own. No family, nothing. And that money that I worked for got put in. I can't get the assistance that it was for, but I can do it for people that illegally, the first step they take in our country, they are breaking our laws.
Yeah.
There's something not right with that.
Yeah. I have to agree. Hello, Seventh Son.
So angry. Seventh.
Yes.
Hello, Seven. Hello, A. Kenneth.
Ooh, yes, I Kenneth. Hi.
Yeah, they gave a stipend during COVID, and they really need to give a stipend when the shit is hitting the fan, to be very honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it is.
When prices are we're in bad shape here.
Yeah.
Girl, I didn't have a lot, but I've known that this was coming for a long time. And I had a little bit of, like I had the beans, I had the rice, all that crap is gone. And I'm telling these people on the phone, I'm like, it's scary. It's scary here. What are we going to do if everything does go lights out? you know,
Right.
and they don't, obviously they don't care, because otherwise they would be able to push me through to some dang buddy.
Yeah.
I figured out what the problem is
Absolutely.
because I have a VoIP phone. I don't have an actual phone. And so
What
there's a
does that
filter
have to
in
do with
place.
anything?
This is the only thing I can figure. I mean, I can't say 100%, but this is just the only thing I can figure. It's because I don't have a phone. And so there's a filter in place, so it knocks me off, because it's, I mean, within seconds, like a millisecond, as soon as you can hear the line get cut on, like the music and stuff, and the Obama, I promise you it's Obama's voice. It's probably deep fake, but it is his voice saying, "Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line." I've got all this detailed notated in my
Yeah.
spreadsheets. Every single time I call, I get their name and I repeat it several times. I write the date, the time, however long the minute callback is. I've got the recordings because I record every single time I call them. And there's no way. I mean, they took all the phone numbers away. And so every single phone number, I found like 10, but every single one of them takes me to the exact same voicemail every time. And I tell these people this every time, the same story. And they're, "Oh, well, let me help you. And then they just put me right through to the same thing. And then I don't even know why I do it still, glutton for punishment or something, because I still do it, and I listen, and I wait them 2-3 hours, sometimes longer, just to be hung up on. And it's the same sound, Obama, or the music that drives
That
you crazy.
happens.
Wow.
Yes.
It's just
So let me tell
me.
you, it happens all the time. I don't know if I think it's a broken system, because it happens
Yes.
to me
It
all
is.
the time. I'll be in the middle of a conversation and it'll hang up. When I'm with these people, when people that you're looking for help, I don't know if it's designed to be to make you want to not do it. Do you know what I mean? Because of the frustration of actually trying to do it.
Right?
Not trying to sound tinfoil hatty, but I'm going to go there for just a second. I won't let it go long, Carol, I promise. Just for a moment. I am the president of the Tinfoil Hat Society in my area, but there's only one member, so I don't have a lot of pull. This is the second level. It's already gone into effect on the first rung of the ladder. There is such a thing,
Yes.
and yes, shut up, Misha. There's okay, slightly. It's Eugene, and you add an X to that, and that is what is going on, because you've got the homeless was the first rung of the ladder. And they are really doing rake it over the coals. Look how many we've got here now. We've got so many homeless, not others, that are from other places. They can come and it's fine. But our people are living in vans. They're living in tents in tent cities. There are people in Canada. My God, the things that people I know, and I know their family, that they're going through, and it is so frigid, freezing cold. And they've done that to the first layer. Well, now we are the next level, because we are the almost homeless.
Mm-hmm.
We're the ones that are barely
Right.
scraping it, the ones unhealthy. We can't work, or else we would, because I guarantee you, I would be out working if I could get this brain to work.
Yeah.
If I could,
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Bradley, he's got cancer. He had, and not to sound gross, not to sound triggery, but he had cancer that came outside of his eye socket. The doctors came in to look at him because they'd never seen cancer on the outside of a person before. It was the size of a peach.
Oh my.
It is now
Wow.
coming back.
Mm.
They told him that he did not qualify because he qualified for a position as an, get this, electric screwdriver operator.
Oh God.
Anybody that runs a drill, they're not going to run it electrically. I promise you that. They're going to run the battery if you're out there using a drill for a job.
Oh yeah.
Not going to be an electric screwdriver.
No.
Yeah.
He was on the blue list to where he should have been expedited and gotten checks while the process was going on. It shows on his file that he was expedited for that he was on the Cal allowance.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor, whenever we had to go see their doctor, we saw one person in the doctor's office the entire time we were there. The lights were turned off and there was light only in the office part. We thought it was closed.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow that doctor signed off on him.
Wow.
They say on his file that he weighed 400 pounds. He's never weighed over 200 a day in his life. They are doing this
tipping my
on
head like a
purpose.
curious dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's
It
frustrating.
sounds
He goes out,
corrupt. It just sounds straight up corrupt.
Oh yeah.
and we can't get anybody to do anything to listen to us. I can't get an attorney to listen to us. We had an attorney, and the attorney stopped talking to us for some reason. What do you do in that aspect? What do you do? Because they expect us to keep living, but we can't. We can't. And you ask for help, and they just either put you on a line, and you get to be left on hold again for hours and hours and hours until what? What is the alternative? Because I'm trying to figure this out. How can we do the things that we need to do in our life? How can we take care of the family that we have in our life if we are so stuck that we can't I can't form complete sentences like I used to. And I used to be a writer. I used to be very educated, and I was able to hold my own very well.
Right.
And now I sound like that's all, folks, most of the time. And that's even in my own head. And that's scary.
Yeah.
And I know it's way, way longer, and I'm holding the thing down, and I don't mean to do that. It's just sometimes I got to let it out because it's scary up in here, y'all.
It is.
And at least if I can do that, I can at least get the word out, get the point out to show what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe somebody else will hold the torch for a little bit, because it's not fair. It's not right. And we didn't deserve this. Yeah, we did drugs. We dang sure did. But every single person that does drugs has a reason.
Yeah.
Why they started doing them.
Yeah.
And most of us have fought most of our lives not to do any of them, and have come back from a life that we didn't have to stay in, and we chose, and we were able to get out. But it's like they're forcing people back in. They want you, the doctors, there's such a grand plan. And it's disgusting. I've researched so much for so long, and so I'm able to see certain things that the average person won't. Y'all, there was once some people come after this group of people, and they didn't say anything because they weren't that group of people. And then they come for another group of people, and they didn't say anything because that wasn't their group. Finally, they came for their people, but there was nobody left to stand up and speak.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love you guys. I need to get this out.
I know it.
Well, thank you so much.
And I'm glad you did. I'm glad you're getting it out, Misha.
It's cleansing.
That's a lot to hold in. That's a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot more up in here that I haven't let out. I just need to get the cojones and actually start doing what I keep saying I'm going to. I've got a video for that.
I would love to have you on my channel and talk more about that if you'd be willing.
Thank you. I mean, I'm all about talking about it, because if not, nobody else.
Exactly.
I've got a loud enough mouth. I don't have a problem speaking about it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And y'all, I'm telling you, you guys don't know the lives that you're saving, because I guarantee you there's people out there that we haven't heard from yet, that this entire thing that's going on here is saving people. And that's what keeps me going. And
depression and all of that.
We really care.
People, it's the lack of hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, planned by design.
Yeah.
Not gonna let it get to me. I'm gonna keep on going.
This is your place, Misha. This is your place, and we're here for you.
This is our
and
place.
we care.
Yeah.
And we care.
And girl,
we really do.
It's nice to have that.
Yeah.
It's disconcerting. It's confusing sometimes, but you've got to go with love or don't. And I think most of us just go straight up with love, whether it's going to hurt us or not. And it has hurt us. But I don't care, because I want to do it with love. I need this. I need y'all.
Right on. And
you
we
got
need
us.
you. And we need you, Misha. We do. You know, these things need to be out there.
Yeah. It does.
And feet need to be held to the fire.
Absolutely, Carol.
And if anybody's going to make a judgment or a ruling or a decision that's regarding the people that they're doing it for, they should have at least lived one day without the cameras, without the extra hidden, fluffs. Just go out there for one day and live the lives of your constituents.
Yeah.
One day. If you're brave enough to do that, then I might be willing to consider you to run office to hold over for my people.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you're not even brave enough to do that, then I don't think you deserve to be there. But
Mhm.
alas,
Here we
it's a
are.
lot of
Alas, our
hard work.
voices will eventually be heard.
Mhm.
That's right, because there's
Our
voices that
voices will
cry.
eventually be heard.
And it's too many to ignore.
Yeah.
It's too
One
It
many.
P is
is.
ignored.
Carol.
This is a
They
meme that
they
I put out
shouldn't
there.
have they shouldn't have the right to have one doctor look at someone one time and override your doctor that you've been seeing for 10 or 20 years, their decisions.
The damn doctor
Do
didn't
you know what I
know,
mean?
man.
Mhm.
No, you're right.
How is
You're
one
completely
person
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're one person to see you one time, and that's the person that they take the advice on. And that has to stop
Yeah.
And that
because
person,
that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
they're choosing the wrong people because Bradley is a major researcher and I've researched some things, especially, but I've researched for over 20 years myself. They've chosen the wrong people because we've got so much documentation. We are CYA people and we have got something on every single person that is on his file. We've got a laundry list of things that they've done. We've got where they have had surgery on a 16-year-old girl who went in for gallbladder and because they perforated her stomach. This is the person that is on his file that is making judgments
Oh,
for
wow.
him.
Oh.
You
This
know
is what
what?
it
Actually,
means to have a broken system. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's completely broken. We've got so much proof of this, but are they going to shut us up or are they going to let us have our time in court? Because our time in court has never been good.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, the thing that happened, I think, is there's two St. Anthony's in our state. One was the major one for all that everybody pretty much went to in the city. And then they eventually got bought the hospital in our little town. Well, it was just during that changeover, the transition. And of course, the pandemic was happening at the same time. Just a couple of months it had come out before he got his diagnosis.
Mm.
And we went to this small hospital that we went to that was changing over to St. Anthony's. So when the unemployment did their verifications, they called St. Anthony's. They had no record of him because they called the one in the city, not the one in Shawnee. And so none of his medical record from there on out shows as valid. It shows that he is just a con artist. He didn't have it, although it was all over his eye and he had some radiation to prove it. And he can't have everything is falling apart at 48 years old. He can, and instead of being able to appreciate life that we have left together, we have to worry about, he can't even eat without throwing up now.
Mm.
But he's trying to get one over on the system for what, a $500 check maybe is what he would have gotten anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have just destroyed him by the way that they have not listened to him and treated him like he is a thief instead of the man that he is.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah. Oh, my
Absolutely.
So that's my spiel. Not even what I was planning on coming on. I was just going to show y'all that the link, but
Well, I'm glad you did because it can't. There's a system that's in place that is unsustainable. Period.
and it's killing people.
Yeah.
How many people don't have the strength to have the voice that we're having? How many people don't have the lifeboat or needing a meeting?
Yeah.
Or my other's keeper. How many people out there don't have this that are going through this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so many people don't know about it. Like they'll walk around the internet all over the place. They just have no idea that these places exist, that there are places for you to be heard and for you to speak as you need to, right? To cleanse your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this, I'm telling you, it's done so much. And so, resources all over the place need to be shared. And I guarantee you the resources that I had raising my kids, if I would have had a quarter of them, things would have been easier. And so why not take what I have and put it together with Stacia? Why not have what Stacia and I have and put it together with, and become that network that has the information so you don't have to search and drive yourself mad looking for something that is already here. We've got it. Yeah. That's what we've got to do. We've got to come together. One single bee is ignored, but when you've got a whole bunch of them coming at you, they're going to listen.
Yeah.
That's right. Individually, we're a drop, but together we're an ocean.
That's right.
Well, our country is called the United States of America,
That's right.
and we were built on becoming the boiling pot of the world, and that means every single race, every single color, every single culture come together, but we do it the correct way. We do it together on guidelines that we've set up and agreed upon at one time.
Right. Yeah.
It's we the people, for the people.
Yep.
I'm Canadian.
We got to remember.
Some,
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our country, because I don't want to speak for everybody, but I know that at one time America was proud for doing things like that. We brought people in, we helped people, we helped our neighbor.
Yeah.
And now we would rather just look in the screen and let somebody else make the decisions for us. We can't do it no more. I'm not an ostrich, and y'all aren't either. I love you, Carol. I know
love
you got to
too,
go.
Misha.
Love you, Misha.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Wow. That's too much. That's too much for anybody to have to go through.
Certainly is, Carol.
Why? Somebody needs for their feet to be held to the fire and asked and made to tell why.
Do you know where that phrase comes from?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I don't know if this is exactly where it came from, but I do know this little fact. If you hold a chicken's feet to the fire, it will lose all of its memory, and then whatever happens after that will become its new memory. So in places in Africa, they don't have chicken coops. The chickens will live underneath the person's bed because they hold their feet to the fire and then throw them under the bed so that when they wake up, that's their new home. Weird, huh?
Very weird.
I'm full of all sorts of things.
Wow.
My goodness.
Anyway,
Completely
derailed.
No, but wow. I had no idea. The Cat in the Hat wrote about getting old. I cannot see, I cannot pee, I cannot chew, I cannot screw. Oh my God, what can I do? Love you too, Misha. Yes. Anytime and every time, Misha. We're here for you. Because somebody needed to be a long time ago.
Yes.
And hopefully eventually the right people will be those people that listen.
Yeah.
My memory shrinks. My hearing stinks. No sense of smell. I look like hell. My mood is bad. Can you tell? My body is drooping. I have trouble pooping. The golden years have come at last. Yeah, nobody goes sticking their feet in the fireplace tonight.
Yeah, please don't.
The golden years can kiss my ass. Dr. Seuss.
Love it.
Is that for real, or did you make that up as how Dr. Seuss would say it? Inquiring minds want to know. 7.
I don't think Dr. Seuss was that creative.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, I love you all very much.
Love you too, Henny.
Love you too, Henny.
I'm so glad that we have each other and we have this group because it's really great.
It is good. It is good.
And I'm going to say good night. And I will see you tomorrow, all of you. Okay?
Hey, good night,
just
Henny.
know that I love you and I'm psychologically buttressing you all.
Awesome.
I know you are.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Have a good night, all.
You too, Henny.
Good night, Henny.
Good night, sweetheart.
Well, you guys, have we had a meeting, or is there still somebody who needs a meeting? 2 in the chat if someone's still needing a meeting. 3 if you feel like you've had a meeting. That's kind of what we do. I'm really happy to get to know you.
Good to know you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Yes. Well, I have to imprison semi-incarcerate my goats until I get some fencing fixed. They're in a small pen that they've kind of eaten down to the nub. And there's a pasture out there with beautiful green grass that's coming through, but there's a part of the fencing where that they have learned to. It was so steep that no animal should want to go down in it, but they are
But they're
goats.
goats.
But they're goats. And
Yes.
they've discovered that they love that little
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
yeah, and they end up over on the neighbors, and then the neighbors have to get in touch with us and tell us
Mhm.
are these your goats? Yes, they're our
I had
goats.
a child who used to do that, so yeah, it was I had a neighbor come walk around the corner. She was 2, she became Houdini. She learned how to unlock the door with that, like, when you have to use 2 hands to do it? She had that down, and, my other daughter was sleeping, I thought she was sleeping, and my neighbor comes walking from, like, 8 houses down the street, holding her hand, she's like, "Does this one belong to you?" "Yes, please don't call children's services."
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah.
In those days, you could kinda do that. Now,
Oh,
not so
well,
much.
she's 23 now, so yeah. Yeah, that was a little bit ago,
Yeah.
but
Fish heads, roly poly fish heads, eat them up, yum. I hope I don't get a copyright strike for that, but I love that. I love Dr. Demento. That should say plenty.
Mhm, mhm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, you are a rock star, Henny. So yeah, I kind of like take the last bit of daylight of the day, and I let them out in the big pasture where they can just gobble up all they can gobble up. And so
Mhm.
I should get out there and let them into the pasture, because there's
Yes,
not enough time in the day for them to do that exploring.
for sure, for sure. I'll definitely have to come back a different day.
I would love that
That's
so
yeah,
much.
yeah, and on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, I'm on at 7:30 Central Standard,
Okay.
so if you ever wanna look up My Other's Keeper,
I've been
feel
wanting
free.
to. I
Yeah,
have. I've been seeing
yeah.
you that they've been talking about you over on the lifeboat. So,
Oh, cool,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's right now it's a whole pile of interviews, but I really want it to become closer to this, where it's a lot more um, audience participation, audience integration, and being able to talk with people rather than at people. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really what I want, is something
Yeah.
like that.
That's the
So
same here. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
like Lord Just Freak, I'm from the cold frozen north. Ah, where the on the plains where the wind blows, I can be really dramatic. So yeah.
So we got some threes here, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just give us a good huzzah and yeah.
All
That's
right.
sometimes when Christy's here, we'll end on a nice soothing meditation. When it's me ending it, it's huzzah.
Huzzah! Yes.
So thank you
All
so
right.
much for braving the link. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for opening the link. I really
Right
appreciate
on.
that.
Yeah, no
All
worries.
right. Yes. We'll
Good
talk
to
to you
meet
again.
you. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for being here and for being here for Misha. And yeah, somehow or another, we've got to figure out a way that this changes, that this is not the ongoing narrative. And I don't know what it's going to take, but we've got to figure it out. We've got to figure it out. Yeah. So that's that. Thank you for being here. Hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, y'all, peace.